folks, this is Noble Rambler and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Banished. We're using the MegaMod. It's our town of Noble Landing. Think about that for a moment. And I did hear back from Crawlyerg. He's going to attempt to do something for us here. He can't make them reflect. So we may be able to get some light blue squares that will kind of do the job to fill in these blanks over here. So that may be coming soon. And also, another thing that may be coming soon, let's see, where is that now? The train. So when you go to put in the train and you want to make a tunnel, let's see, where have I got a mountain here that would even do the job to show you? Right here. A tunnel, like any other tunnel in Banished, will go from one side of a mountain to another. But you can't make it just go off the end of the map, because you can't build beyond a certain point. So I was hoping that we could come up with some kind of a ghost tunnel entrance to put at the side of a map somewhere that the train can enter the map from. And he's been working on that, and the picture I just saw looked excellent. So that's another bonus that looks like it's going to be coming here pretty soon. I'm guessing the next update, but I'm not sure about that. The fact that it's coming at all is great news to me. Anyway, what are we doing this time besides staring at another winter scene of this town? Pop out of this right now. I know that we're having a little trouble with our iron production, so we need to work on that. We've got a bunch of houses that are going to build this episode. We're still tearing 2 of them down to rebuild them, to upgrade them. We've got, let's see, I wanted to increase the priority on this bridge right here so it gets done before the dock trading post gets done. So let's do that real fast. Right there. Make sure that guy is a higher priority. And also, we've got so few laborers, we may actually have a bit of an issue this year with picking up the crops. So let's do, I'm going to start over here. The orchards are the least priority because they can be picked up all the way up to the next year's harvest. So that's not as big of an issue. So let's prioritize them first. They'll end up being the last of the priorities. So you guys are interesting. Orchards don't prioritize. This one too? Where am I? Right there? No, they don't. Okay, never mind. So this will be a laborer issue, not a builder issue. Although it's the laborers that bring the wood to the job site. So it does affect both. Anyway, I do need to make sure that these get picked up. So we'll do that, and that, and that one, then that one. Okay. So farmers right now that are not working are laborers. So that 0 is really 10. If you think of it that way. Until early spring hits, we've got 10 laborers that just aren't showing. But we have nobody to replace anybody who dies, so that is a problem. Let's limit our reed production one more time. Turn you off, take you down, and we've got 1 laborer. Boy, we either need to release a school, and that is a possibility. We could suddenly have 18 laborers. They won't be educated, they won't be as efficient, but we're running out here. Or we wait for nomads, which may or may not happen this time. I think I'm going to release them. Never mind, that didn't work. They just went over here. There and here. And yeah, that plan didn't work. There. Well, we got those schools filled. And none over here. So we'd have to work pretty hard to finally release enough students to do any good. What else is there? Take this down to 1 so we don't lose any jobs while I'm thinking about it. What else is here that's not all that important? This is our foundry. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this little area. This is our foundry, where we are making iron with the iron ore coming out of here. Are we out of iron ore? I had not thought of looking at that. We do have a town arrival here. Inventory. Iron ore. We got plenty. We have no iron tools. That's fine. We have iron. 220 is already down to 209, so we are eating it up. Okay, so what I was thinking this time is to head over here and go ahead and get an iron mine going in this area. But we do have one tucked back over here. We probably have, well, okay, we're housing them over here, aren't we? Let's look at that real quick. You there. All right, you work there. There's only one person, I believe. One worker. Where was I? There. Okay, so that worker works there. That one works there. We have a blacksmith over here, works there. Okay, so we got another blacksmith in. We also got more iron production in. So that should have evened out. No labor is available. Oh, Ezekiel, the gatherer, ate some poison berries and died. Well, I need laborers. I need them bad. So I think we're going to do it. Let's unwork you. And that most likely maxed out the other ones. 20, 12, 10. So let's unwork 10. There we go. Put them back in. And this one back in. I guess we could say we've got one too many teachers right now. Huh. Let's turn this school off. Now that's kind of a central one. So we got one there, one way over there, and one here. No, I'll leave those alone. But we know we can tap at least one teacher if we ever need to. Okay, so those teachers will find their job again and go back to work. So we have 10 laborers available. We lost a gatherer, so let's do that. Gatherer... Boy, that scrolls fast. Right there. So add a gatherer in. We need to add in another forester. Couple, I believe. Do that. Let's leave you at 2. That's 1. That's only 3 foresters. Who was the... These were in 3s. Okay, 3, 3. And 3. We'll do that. 3, 3, and 3. Okay, it takes care of that. We still just need this teacher to... I'll just take care of that now. So, down and up. Okay, that took care of that one. So where else were we lacking? Let's work on our iron production then. So let's get one more working in here. 2 more working in here. We've got him, and 1 more working over here. Okay. So with that, we have doubled our iron production, and we've actually doubled our ore production too. Okay, we'll go with that for a while. We're probably going to hit 200. We'll see if we level at some point and actually start rebuilding again. We've shut down a lot of this. Merchant has arrived. Watch, nomads will show up right now. Real soon here. Anyway, I'm trying to think what we've got going on in regard to fuel production. Reads. Gotta remember not to have my Gmail on my other monitor while I'm doing this. Every time something pops in, my attention goes over there. We were at 3,000 before, we're at 28. So we are actually using up more than we are making. So let's... These guys are probably furthest away from housing, right? Yeah, let's get this one employed again. So making reeds. And fire bundles. Firewood bundles. Okay, firewood is what's really hurting right now. Logs are in the 1,000 range. Did that not happen? There we go. Okay. That was another merchant. And we're down to 2 laborers, just like that. Wow. Ate them up. Okay. Uneducated workers do not do as well. You're taking... oh... good hit. These did not get picked up. They are picking them up, though. No, this is planting? That is odd. That must be planting. But that it only came in those spots is kind of strange. These did not get picked up. Yeah, we have a bit of a labor crisis going on. Food, we're fine, though. I'm not going to be too concerned about that. Okay, I'm going to pause. This did get picked up, I think. No, they're still hiding in there, but they'll get to them in time. Okay, let's see what's going on with all of these traders. You have brought us trade, yeah, logs, iron. I'm not going to do iron this time. I want to actually see what happens. Tools we don't need. Hardwood we don't need. Clay we don't need. Silver ore, I will grab that because it's pretty cheap. 10 of you, 30. And here's an example here where here's a trader, or Bessica the Hauler, will not take food. So no rice, no fish, no cucumbers, turnips. We'll only take, well, we'll take herbs. I was going to say only take items that we've made with our raw materials, but herbs would be a raw material. But just simply does not want food. Okay. So what do we want to make 30 out of? How about 1 furniture? 1 fancy furniture. Trade and dismiss. You scroll up over there. Delayed the hauler is back. Has fire bundles, which I just might buy this time. That's going to skew my numbers later to try to figure out whether we're making enough, but I'd like to be able to fill all these houses that are going to open up. And that's going to suck us dry. So let's go ahead and do that. 600 of those. Stone, actually not doing that bad. I'm going to hold off on stone. Logs were fine. I'm tempted about the hull components. I thought about that last time. Let me click, let's see, move that, click over here. This guy is not making very much, not producing enough whale blubber to keep us going. Over here. Might be nice to have another wharf and ship, and it seems like it took 10 of the hull components to do that. So let's go ahead and see if we can afford 10. Otherwise, furnace fuel, I don't know what we're doing on furnace fuel. 600. Where are we using furnace fuel? Not many places. What are we making a year? You're right over here. This guy. Out of fire bundles. Ah, okay. 300 and something a year. Okay. So that's basically 2 years worth. Right there. No, that's 4 years worth, or 3.5. You know, just for a shot in the arm, let's go ahead and do some. We do have quite a bit built up in here to buy with. Let's go for something like 600. We'll do half of that. Alright. Charcoal, no. None of the rest of this. So we're 48.50. Furnace fuel's 3s. If I did 750, that would make 5,000, right? No, it wouldn't. 5,300. Alright, we'll do 5,300. There's 19 iron tools here to trade out. We must have used this to get rid of our old iron tools. Tools are doing decent. Let's go ahead and do that. Unless there is a blacksmith making iron tools that I am not aware of. Let's see. You are locked in. You are making blacksmith. You're here. Carbon steel tools. Carbon steel tools. Okay. So there is not a blacksmith making iron tools. Good. Let's go ahead and sell off these 19. Get rid of them. Otherwise, wine is still not made it up to 1,000 again. Fancy furniture is really what we're going to be using to make, to trade for a lot of our stuff. That and spirits. So let's do all of it. I think so. 100. So we need, let's do 100 of these. Now 1,150 left. Not going to do food because we have a little bit of a food problem here. Steel tools, no. That's our backup plan when we run out of carbon steel tools. So we're not going to sell those if we can avoid it. So furniture, let's do the 20 of those. Now we're down to 700. And it looks like it's going to be wine. So 100 will give us 800. So if we were to do 80, what? 88, 85, what's 85 look like? An additional 28. So 88 and a 4. There we go. Trade and dismiss. And this guy, right? No. That guy. Ducks, chickens, trade horses. So he's the rancher. Alright, dismiss you. Game started again. Now what? Let's see. We have used up a vendor at some point, or we lost a vendor and didn't replace it. Gatherer has been replaced. No labor available. Vendor. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. That's up and running again. One laborer left. I don't want to release more from the schools. So let's go ahead and do what I had talked about. Which, well, we got houses there. Let's make these guys walk into town to for school. Let's go ahead and unwork that one and turn you off. Alright, 2 laborers are available. We've got this clothier over here making cloth down coats out of feathers and cloth. Okay. We've got llamas. That's why we ran out of feathers. We're using feathers for 2 different things. Oh, okay. So cloth and wool. Let's look at that. Cloth and wool. Cloth down coats, 300. Cloth, 1,100. Wool, 800. Let's switch over to those. How are we doing on feathers now? We bought 1,000. We're down to 450. If we stop using them in 2 different places, I wonder if we can level off. So, cloth and wool. And we have leather and cloth. Leather. 1,500. Ooh. A frock coat. Let's do that. Cloth, leather. Okay. You're going to make that now. How are we doing otherwise? 222 citizens, that's about where we were before. It's only been 1 year. We are building some houses. Got a young couple that went into that one. Haven't brought their inventory in yet. We're running at 1 speed. I slowed down at the very beginning. Okay, we'll speed that up again a little bit. And, alright. Overview, production. Tools are outproducing. Food is still way outproducing. Okay, we're fine there. Graphs, yeah, okay. Minimize you. So we want to get mining through here. Probably want to get into tin mining as well and start tinning some of this food. Dog market, our small dog market just went in. I'm not going to put any more vendors out there. Let's take you down to 1. How are you doing? Not doing that great. You're at 1. Okay. So that's a 1. The other will be a 1. This one is a 1. This guy is a 2. Take you down to 1. And then we have this one over here, which really isn't being used that much. Yeah. Let's unwork you and take someone out of there. 4 laborers, including one that just popped in. Okay. Lots of babies being born. We're doing good proportionally. It's just getting us there. Alright then. I don't need to see that anymore. We did prioritize this guy, Bridge. Nothing has happened because they've spent their time clearing goods over here. And they're just now getting to these fields. Now the 10 farmers went back to work. Well, I'll take that back. These 3 did not. This one planted. It's sorghum. This one's just getting planted. It is a smaller one though, so it's very possible it's still going to work out just fine. These probably could pause. Let's do that for the year. Let's unwork these guys. What was that? Merchant has arrived. So we know we've got 3. We know what these 3 are. There's no point in planting all these at the end of spring, and just as the harvest begins, everything freezes. So let's save these laborers. Whoa, we've got laborers starting to come in now. Probably could have waited a little bit and saved those students, huh? Of course, you just can't know that till you do it. But now we've got 8 available to get lots of other things done, including hauling the logs over to that bridge and getting these other things finished. We've been hauling a lot of materials into all of these dock residences. That's all. It doesn't feel like enough. Let's kind of look through here. These 2. And there's a group over here. Okay. Well, maybe we are almost done. Question is, do we continue upgrading? Get larger families out of the upgraded versions. Or do we get to work expanding and doing other things? How are these guys doing? 32 of 36, 13 of 15. There was another one over here. 33 of 48. So many trees. It's hard to figure out what you want to do when I can understand why Vapid likes to just clear cut everything. Except it never seems to be doing that when there's only 2 or 3 laborers on the map. If I did that, it would be the end of Noble Landing, because nothing else would get done for about 3 years. We're just now getting this group all finished. You can see, this may have been what really caused this problem. We cleared out all of the trees in this circle, and they're just finishing the job now. Got only hardwoods being planted to grow back now. Except it's possible that there were a few saplings of the conifers that had dropped in after I gave the order to cut everything. So that's very possible. Dock residents. Really, we've got an 11-year-old teacher that's married. Okay. Only in Banished. Okay. To my list here. Iron production, we're still dropping. Okay. Maxed. Not maxed. Another thing on my list, looking at the 3 there, is that I wanted to get an herb mender in each of these little clusters. They can go get the herbs elsewhere, but they can get them administered to them right near home. So I do want one in each each area that is a cluster of homes. So let's pop those in, at least get them queued up. That would be this guy. What does he look like? He enters from two sides. He's a walk-through. Where would that work best? We have a single path out here. If I put him here, it will hit that corner, so I can't use him as a pathway to get into there. Do I want to put two more stills in here? That's why I haven't used this space. I'm thinking I do. The rice wine stills, let's put two more in there. So I don't want to use that space. We're not making wine fast enough when we have so much rice. Alright. Is there a reason to leave this opening here? If I were to put more fish in, what would it look like? Oh, I'm over here now. That one, fish. No, it's already too cluttered for that, so that's not going to happen. Dock workshop. Let's set the stills. That's the door. You can go right there. We'll put a pause in between. And there. Merchant. So there's those guys. There you are. There. No, that's not you. Where's the one I just put in there? There you are. Grab you. Turn you off. Put you there. And young couples going in all around. That's good news. 11-year-old female butcher. These 11-year-olds, they're quite industrious. There you are. Another still. So now I'm thinking the herb mender goes here so that this is available to do something entirely different with without already having something in the way. Unless it'll fit in this space. Then we got a walkway heading out. We have a walkway here anyway. There's a connection point there as well. Alright, where does it fit? Herb mender. That's not what I want. There, there. Now we're kind of stuck in here. And it's a dead end no matter what. So I may as well just set it right there. Okay. So that's where... Yeah, there we go. That's where that one's going to go. We've got a merchant or two waiting for us, and I wanted to put another herb mender in here. Let's go ahead and check the merchants first. Just these two. More feathers. Canteens, cotton. Don't see anything in there that I need. So I'm going to say no. Dismiss you. Move to this one. Animals, no. Grab this one. Fire bundles, I'm going to say no to. There weren't as many houses building as I thought there would be. Kind of surprised. We had 9 here. So a bunch of them must have built before I went back and grabbed all of the extra of these boxes to put them up there. Iron ore. You know, it could be cheaper to buy it than to try to employ it. Let's do that. At least this time. Lamp oil I don't want. I would like to get blubber and make my own, though. Oh, that's right. I bought the stuff to make another ship and wharf. So let's think about that, too. So that's all I'm seeing out of here. So we need 500. Only 6 furniture have made it back. Either out of furniture, we could be, or we've been busy. No, we didn't sell anything up above here. We must be out of furniture. So let's take a look at the furniture also. How do we make 500 real quick? We could do it with 50 of these. So let's do that. Trade and dismiss. And I think that's someone I just dismissed, so I don't think he's coming in. Furniture. Here first. Inventory. Furniture 0. Why is that? Furniture is this guy. Merchant, trading post. That was a real one. Okay. We have logs. That's not what I want. There we go. Made 62. So we're using that in building supplies. This one. No, we're not. Using it in home supplies. Are we really making it faster than we can? We must be. Okay. So furniture is probably not good to have in the traders. At least not all of them. That was this guy. Let's go ahead and take it out of here. Let's do that. Well, let me think that through. It's stopping our ability to make building supplies. But do we have already more building supplies than we're probably going to use? There's 100 of them. We don't have a lot of land left. No, I'm going to leave it the way it is. Okay. You brought us bakery goods. $46,000. We stopped growing and we're still increasing our food. I don't see anything here that we need. Now, we're going to pass here. Dismiss you, and thank you. Town arrival, we're at late summer. When we hit... actually, I can re-employ these right now. They cannot be planted. It's no longer spring. So they'll just act as laborers like they're doing at the moment. Okay, so furniture we're going to say is good enough. Just have to remember not to spend it often. Wool and cloth we got figured out. Herb mender. Over in here. And then probably should put in a few more homes. Herb mender. We tuck you in this little corner. Kind of think so. I don't think the boat is going to clip that space. So let's do that. Herb mender is right here. That way or that way? We'll do that. We need a pathway. Interesting. The bridge doesn't quite step down there. Let's do that. Okay, that'll go there. And then we need a path from there to here. Let's go in at first with the country road. From there, hold the shift down, take us to here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, we get that one built. Alright, how are we doing? We've actually got a little bit of labor available now. Let's kick our builders up a little bit, kind of a half and half. Structure is being upgraded, 0 storage is left, good. Material warehouse is being built, good. We're going to actually start producing hardwood soon. Not yet, though. But when it happens, we'll have a place to store it. 700 logs sitting over here. That's good news. Once this is all done, we can take that out, and they'll all be transferred over probably to logs here or wherever else we'll store them. Seems like there was a spot. Oh, there's some kind of a... no, right here? What are you? Dock house and... oh, the fuel storage. Okay, it's not logs. Okay. So... I think that covers everything on my list. Housing? We have 2 houses left. Let's take a peek at something. There's no more houses in here. There's a log cabin in here. So there's 1, 2, 3 houses left. Here, overview. Let's just do a couple. Where would they most be needed? We have lots of housing already in the city area that don't have jobs, so they're probably... Wow, dock worker drowned. Seaward has replaced Beelan. Anyway, not enough jobs to house to work these houses, so most likely they are most of our laborers over here. Otherwise, let's use this tool. That was interesting. Oh, that just went in. Okay. Where am I? Right over here. Really, that's it? I expected a little bit of a building or protection or something. This is where houses should go in. Yeah, I think so. This over bridge has got all the materials, and there are 2 workers assigned. Okay, let's take you down to just 1, and we will employ 1. Not going to make this a primary trader to use. It was mostly just to see how it worked. So, trader, there will be a trader coming into here soon. What do we have? Let's lock you in. The most of that we can trade out of here just to see how this works. Now we're up to 20,000 rice. We were at 15 before, and I shut down 3 rice farms. We're still growing. Oh, let's see. Large quantities of another trader. Fish. No. Let's do 1,000 rice. Inventory. Just because we have it. If someone only buys food, we'll have that available to us. If not, then we've got 1,000 rice in the bank for the next food crisis. Survival coats were looking pretty good. Let's do that. 250. Smoked fish. That's right, we are smoking fish now. Okay. Cloth down coats. We're not making any more. Okay, let's switch over to by name. It keeps changing because the quantities are changing. Candles, we're not going to... Well, we could do 100 candles out here. I guess that's true. We're not using candles in any of the other ones, so we're not going to run our supply down that fast. I know you're here somewhere. There you are, 100. And one more thing. What else can we toss in there? 24 flour. That's right, we do have a bakery going too. I need to go take a look at that. Frock coats are being made. Glancing through here. Nothing is really jumping out at me. Sausages. We could do that. What else are we making from our butchers? Venison cuts. Alright, we'll do 250 sausages. There you are. Okay. Mostly right now I just want to notice how the boat travels when he comes into this area. So let's deal with traders so that we can notice the boat coming through. You probably no longer going to have anything that we need. We're up to 2,000 on our home fuels. Tools are fine, clothes are fine. So really, probably just coming down to ores for this one. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, you're dismissed. You, animals, no thanks. wish I could just turn him off for now, but the boats will still arrive even if you're not using them. Though we could turn him off and save the labor. Okay. Rope. Cask. How's our rope doing? Need that for the upgrades. Haven't checked that in a while. 600. Okay, we're fine. Reeds. No, not necessary. Barrel tray, pewterware, linen. Yeah, we're good. Dismiss you as well. Although I'm supposed to be looking for domesticated animals, aren't I? Well, when I edit it, I'll have to look to see if there were some in there that I missed. Alright, here we've got I'm guessing a dad and a child, and the mom has died. Probably... maybe Bellin was the wife. Who knows? So you are heading to the other one. So do we have... yep, there's probably the trader for the new... or the merchant for the new trader. So we will watch and see how that goes. So you are done. Rice wine still. Let's put one person in there. You're done. No choices. Herb mender. Which one are you? Over here. Let's go ahead and get you employed. Wow, we've got employees really coming in now. So the schools are finally paying off. We're maxed out on food. Interesting. We're going to increase the food limit. Otherwise the farms won't pick up. So we'll do 75,000 in food. But we will turn off some more of the rice farms. Planter. Planter, and we'll do one more. Planter, and take 3 of these down. Okay. Now, did I miss him? Did not. Here he comes. Let's see how this works. Ah, he is going to try and clip through, isn't he? Well, he's trying to calculate his way through. And... okay, he had to sneak under there a little bit. And there we go. It works. Ha ha ha. Alright, let's see you line up with the dock. Good job. And you... so this trading post, I'm guessing, is just a generic one. Anything could come in through here. Marvid, the goods importer, brought us donuts. How do you say no to donuts? Well, you do because you have nothing to trade with. We do have 500 rice. We will trade 500 rice for donuts. Yes, any day. So 250 donuts. And sold. Trade and dismiss. Alright, he pulled out of there nicely. We've got another herb mender in. Dock shanties being torn down. Heads under. Now, we still have the problem of these guys clipping through here. So, I might do what I did in George and build something through here. A string of, a dock and a bunch of dock shanties through here. Might be wise to do. I didn't know you were sitting here. I'm thinking I didn't dismiss you. Well, I will now. Okay. You're done. So we're still clipping through here, right? Let's turn our reeds on while we're waiting. And yes, they are turning in there. Okay. How Feather's doing? We turned off one use of the feathers, and we had 460 something. Now we're at 484. Maybe we just leveled off. Another rice wine still. Employ you. Thank you. So let's keep an eye on that. And what was the other thing I noticed up here I needed to check on? I don't know, but we do have the hull components now. 12 of them, actually. So another ship and wharf would be a good idea. Where would it look good? here's what we're looking at. It needs to be on the river, or it needs to be in a place that can get back to the river. And really, it's not going to be realistic no matter what because of these bridges. So it could be in here. And ignore the bridges, and he pulls out and continues on his way. Could be in here as well. Never did put a road in there, did we? No, you're fishing. Yeah, you cannot be in there. We will never be fishing in here. So let's do that. Ship and wharf goes in there, and it's not too far of a walk to get the blubber in to the press. Okay, let's do that. Also thinking about storage for this guy. He's probably just not going to have the convenience of being able to dump off. He's going to have to make the long trip. Yeah, I don't see another way around that. This storage here, we got the warehouse system in. But we didn't really get a barn in. Well, that was not that far of a walk. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay. So, ship and wharf. Food. Right? Food, raw. Ship and wharf. Wharf and ship. There we go. So you are in here somewhere. How do you work? Alright, that does fit right there. Let's see what it looks like this way. Now F does allow us to change the boat. That's a nice looking boat there, but he's really big. I kind of like this one. And your sphere is right there. I can't... Maybe that'll stay. Yeah. That's probably the best spot. Okay, you're there. This goes away. Bridge is done. Oh, good. So, I would say some houses back in here. Don't need to repeat the city services, though. I don't think so. So, you're done. That's building. Is that all that's building right now? There's 9 jobs left somewhere. These guys. 2, 4, and 5. 9. That's all it's building. Okay. So let's put in a row of houses back in here that will supply what jobs, though? There really aren't any. I mean, we've got 2 houses here to handle. We still got to put a little gatherer and a little hunter in this area. And 1 or 2 working here. So really just the houses that would make this look better, because it doesn't have a building next to it. So if we were to go in and do something like this, let's do the bigger one. We did that and that. It might help make this look a little more authentic or something. It just looks kind of odd. You, young couple, good. That dock home, that dock home. This one's going to build first. Put that down there. So those are built. And one thing I didn't do last time is I wanted to put in a hunter and a gatherer over here. So, and also maybe even a stone quarry at some point. We've only got this guy right here. And I've noticed that there are some tiny little stone quarries that I've never used before. I didn't even see them before. I think they're new to version 5 of the MegaMod. Let's peek at those real quick. It was this little guy. Tiny Quarry. I see Kid1293 has a mod called Tiny Version 1. That's, I believe, a newer one to version 5. So that might be where the tiny mine... Oh, that's interesting. And the tiny quarry go. Stone storage is over here. We could tiny quarry like right there. And that's something for our housing over here to supply. Because we already have the stone storage. No, we don't. we still have a stockpile over here. Stone storage is there. So we can build more stone storage. Just the housing is the issue. We only have 5 houses here. And there's a lot of jobs there. These guys are supplying the rest of these jobs. So if we put the quarry here and put more houses in, that could work. Let's do that. Quarry over here. Something like that, but back in the trees a little bit. Right there. And we'll have to put more houses in next time. Okay, with the traders being spammed. Okay, so that's there. We'll leave that there. Let's do the hunter and gatherer real quick. So the little hunter that I like, let's see. Oh, what is this? I've not run across this before. Old hunter's cabin. A little bit of a diagonal. Ooh, I like that. Big sphere of influence, though. And the hunter's residence. Oh, I like that. It won't work here, but a larger one. Maybe even replacing what we have down in here. Let's go with this little guy. What does he look like? Yeah, he's the one that I really like. There is also this guy. That's something to think about. Whereas this one is a smaller little sphere. Let's do this. Though I wish I could be out a little more in the middle rather than on the road. But that'll have to do. Okay, you're going to go there. And gatherer. Mini gatherer, what do you look like? You're a little too mini. What else do we have? That's the more traditional. This little guy here is a possibility. And you are new foods gatherer. Rose hip and oats. Okay. I guess it's this guy. Alright. You've got basically the same footprint. So you could go right across the road from the other one. Something like that. Okay. So with that, I think we've got an episode. We've got something to get us going next time. We've got traders at almost every. We have 5 now. So the 5th one isn't sitting there waiting. We actually have laborers. So